We've got a major update in the Fulton County, Georgia case against Donald Trump. District Attorney Fani Willis has now asked the judge, Judge McAfee, to set Trump's trial date for August 5th, 2024. Willis wrote in her filing, "This proposed trial date balances potential delays from defendant Trump's other criminal trials and sister sovereigns and other defendants' constitutional speedy trial rights," meaning that she's actually building in delays, given that the Trump team will inevitably try to lean on that tactic, as it's been trying to do in all of their cases. So this isn't even the earliest date that Fani Willis could have suggested, but because she's building in those delays, it actually becomes more likely that Judge McAfee will accept it. And of course, this is hugely significant, first and foremost, because it would mean that Trump would be tried before the 2024 election in November, meaning that there exists the possibility that if he's convicted in Fulton County, Georgia, he may very well end up in prison at the same time that he's running a presidential campaign. If accepted by the judge, Fulton County would join the DC trial as being scheduled before the election, thereby doubling the chances that Trump could face conviction before the 2024 election, something that he is clearly horrified of and the justification for his relentless efforts to delay. But the Fulton County trial is actually more dangerous for Trump because remember, even if Trump's Hail Mary play is to win the presidency in 2024 and to have his own DOJ end its prosecution of him, he wouldn't be able to do that in Fulton County because the case in Georgia is a state prosecution and the federal government isn't able to interfere in state prosecutions. He wouldn't even have the ability to pardon himself if he gets convicted, which means that not only does the Georgia trial pose significant danger to him, but having that trial potentially occur before the election would be the worst case scenario for Donald Trump. Also important in this filing is that Fani Willis asks Judge McAfee to set a final plea date of June 21st, 2024. It says, quote, "The state will entertain negotiated guilty pleas up until the final plea date. After the final plea date, the defendants will only have the option of non-negotiated pleas, and the state intends to recommend maximum sentences at any remaining sentencing hearings." Meaning if any of these remaining co-defendants try to negotiate a plea deal, they would have to do it by June 21st, 2024. After that, they would all be subject to the maximum sentences, meaning we're likely to see renewed urgency on the issue of plea deals. And by the way, there does exist the possibility that all of the remaining co-defendants could actually enter into plea deals against Donald Trump. Here's my Legal Breakdown co-host Glenn Kirshner discussing that possibility, and he's pretty bullish on the idea.
I think the answer is yes. We may see everybody other than Donald Trump actually accept responsibility for their crimes, plead guilty, and agree to testify against whatever defendants might remain. But with each passing day and with each new, guilty plea with cooperation, each new flipper, I think the odds are going up that we may see everybody plead guilty in the Georgia State RICO case, with the exception of Donald Trump.
But going back to the politics of a Trump incarceration, I should note that even if Donald Trump does end up in prison, that doesn't necessarily mean he would no longer be a viable presidential candidate in the Republican Party, although it may turn off enough voters from actually voting for him. I actually spoke with former Obama speechwriter and host of Pod Save America, Jon Favreau, about this exact possibility in our upcoming interview, and here's a preview of what he had to say.
Yes, unfortunately. I think he's still viable as a candidate, but I do think, for all the talk about the New York Times Siena polls a few weeks ago, I thought that the best piece of news in there is that even with Joe Biden struggling against Donald Trump in those battlegrounds losing by a couple points, if Trump is convicted, you have a bunch of voters who at least told the New York Times that they would switch to vote for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden would lead actually by double digits in a lot of those states, which just goes to show that we have no idea what the political environment will feel like next year, next month, a couple months later. So it's tough to know. Now, I still think that the flip side of that is it shows that even though Biden is leading by double digits if Trump is convicted, he's still, Trump's still in the game. So he's still a viable candidate, but it looks at least like from that poll that it gives Biden a boost.
And of course, to watch the full interview as soon as it's released this weekend, make sure to subscribe to this channel. But I think it's important to note something here on the heels of that comment by Jon Favreau. While a Trump conviction may certainly have electoral implications, the point of the prosecution here is not political. We constantly hear stuff like this.
So while Israel is being attacked, while Ukraine is being attacked, while inflation is eating our country alive, I'm down here. And these are all political opponent attack ads by the Biden administration. Their poll numbers are terrible. You show what happened today. The New York Times and CBS came out with told that I'm leading all over the place, but it's a very unfair situation. This is really election interference. That's all it is. This trial is ridiculous.
That these are political persecutions carried out by Joe Biden and the evil Democrats. Here's the thing. It was not Joe Biden who indicted him. It was not a Democrat who indicted him. It was not any politician who indicted him. Donald Trump was indicted by juries of his peers in 4 separate jurisdictions on 91 criminal charges based on the evidence presented by prosecutors. And so even though it was him who decided to try and overturn an election, even though it was him who decided to steal documents from the White House, even though it was him who incited a mob to the U.S. Capitol, this is all now somehow Biden's fault that Trump is being held to account for his own behavior. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. What's craziest about blaming the left is that it was the left who tried to stop Donald Trump. We were all collectively begging and pleading for Trump not to try and overturn an election, for Trump and his acolytes not to interfere in the electoral certification process, for Trump not to meddle in voting machines and state legislators. In fact, the left were the only people who were telling Trump to do the right thing. Had he listened to us, he literally wouldn't be contending with a raft of criminal prosecutions right now. And yet somehow, it's the fault of the only people who were giving him the advice that would have kept him out of the courtroom. And of course, the ultimate irony is that while Trump tries to baselessly claim that political persecutions are terrible, here he is promising to wage them if he becomes president.
Biden is a man who has unleashed something that's a very bad thing, because when that happens to me, it can happen to them. And, you know, he's a very corrupt president.
You say they've weaponized the Justice Department, they weaponized the FBI. Would you do the same if you're reelected?
Well, he's unleashed something that we've all known about this for 100 years. We've watched other countries do it. And in some cases effective, and in other cases the country's overthrown or it's been totally ineffective. But we've watched this for a long time, and it's not unique, but it's unique for the United States. Yeah, if they do this, they've already done it. But if they want to follow through on this, yeah, it could certainly happen in reverse. It could certainly happen in reverse. What they've done is they've released the genie out of the box. You understand that. They've done something that nobody thought would happen. They've taken a president who is very popular. I got 75 million votes, much more than that, I believe. Mm-hmm. No president's ever gotten that many votes. And they've taken that number of people, and I think you can double it, or almost you can triple it in terms of the feeling. You can't do that. You can't go after people. You know, when you're president and you've done a good job and you're popular, you don't go after them so you can win an election. They've done indictments in order to win an election. They call it weaponization. And the people aren't going to stand for it. But yeah, they have done something that allows the next party. I mean, if I happen to be president and I see somebody who's doing well and beating me very badly, I say, go down and indict them. Mostly that would be, you know, they would be out of business. They'd be out. They'd be out of the election.
So not only is it clear that Biden has zero hand in Trump's prosecutions, but Trump then goes on to undermine his own talking point that political prosecutions are disqualifying by outright endorsing them on TV. So look, a few caveats here. Nothing is set in stone, and these are just requests by Fani Willis. But the stage is now set for Judge McAfee to either accept or refuse these dates, which is an answer we can now expect in the coming days. And of course, the implications of setting a trial date before the 2024 election can't be overstated. So again, if you want to follow along with legal updates as soon as we get them, please subscribe to this channel, because something tells me that what happens next in Fulton County, Georgia is going to reverberate across the political spectrum in ways that rarely happen. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.